another one of those attributes that I think someone needs to have to be a successful recruiter is to be flexible and have that adaptability. When heaven forbid, you get a diagnosis or a loved one of yours, this last year, my mother got diagnosed with cancer, and I look at how they adapted to it and their attitude towards it. And it was like, I'm going to be fine, and my mother is amazing. My parents are incredible, and they're people that I admire, look up to, and I'm sure that I got some of that from them, like the ability to just adapt. And my mother's fine, and my father says that their home looks like a botanical garden because she's just out of cancer treatment and she's in the yard all day long, planting things. And last time I was there, she says, "Can you help me dig a ditch?" And she's making a French drain. I mean, they're just incredible people.
Amazing.
And so if you have to have that ability. And I understand that not everybody was born with that, right? And different people take things differently. Some people, if they get some news or they lose a client, it's hard for them to get out of that funk, and that is an attribute that is absolutely necessary in our industry, is the ability to take a licking and keep on ticking. And kind of a mantra that I have for the Stoker family is never back down and never stay down, like be that guy that never stops. I was in a jujitsu tournament in Hawaii, actually, and I had beaten everybody in my weight classes. And at that time, I was a skinny guy. I'm 6'4". And at the time, I weighed in at like 183 pounds for this tournament. I dropped weight to enter the tournament. And so they had a super heavyweight. It was 362 pounds. And almost twice my body weight. And his arms were like the size of my thighs, a big Polynesian guy. And they said, "Matt, fight this guy." And it was a 5-minute fight. And he was choking me out for about 4 minutes. But I just didn't tap because I was so pissed off that I couldn't do anything. So I figured a win is not tapping out on this guy. He's going to beat me, but I'm not going to tap. And I turned blue, but I survived. And I think that that's what you need to have. You have to have this tenacity where the client says, "You know what? We need this guy on our side. Like maybe we're not going to use a recruiter very much, but holy hell, I want this guy on my team," And we have clients, right, that we've never made a placement with, but they call us. They call me just to say, "Hey, Matt, can I bounce some things off of you?" And I think that they do that because they know that we care. Just through a few phone calls, conversations. "Hey, Marcus, how's it going? What's going on over there?" Being aware of what's going on in the client's location, being aware of what projects they've won, what projects they lost. I mean, I called a client of mine and I said, "Hey, man, I'm so sorry, brother. I saw that you lost that bid by $100. It was like a multi-million-dollar job and they lost the bid by a couple $100." And he's like, "Damn you for bringing that up," But it let him know that he knows that I was empathetic, that on Christmas Eve, I saw that he lost that bid and I was thinking of him. And if you take the time to make those calls and demonstrate that care, right? Like to be aware of what's going on in their business, or if you hear of something where there's an accident on a job site and you call to give your condolences, they'll remember that. And even if they have no intention of ever really paying you for your services, there will come a time where they will be in a major jam and they will call you.